Brutal, savage, Cirque, absolutely taken down. And they've done it. That's what we like to see. A 16-5 victory for NRG, playing the way we thought they would, and B.O.O.T just never had an answer, did they?
Yeah, and this is very disappointing for them, right? This was supposed to be the pick, a map that NRG didn't play all that often, you know. On the other side of things, for B.O.O.T, it's one of their more comfortable picks, but they just couldn't do anything. You really do feel that 1v4 really broke their back, right? Because it was just after they won 2 rounds, really, and that was supposed to give them some momentum. Maybe they come back a little bit, make it respectable, give themselves a fighting chance, but that was just the end of it, really.
Yeah, and I mean, all the talk obviously going to be that highlight is going to probably be the lasting clip from this matchup from Cirque, but actually a you know, pretty pedestrian game from him overall. Nothing too crazy. It was actually Breezy and Ethan who were, you know, hitting the 20 kills.
That's all he needed to do, really. That clutch, and I mean, he kind of fell into it as well. It's not like you can't be set up for this stuff on purpose, and so he delivers well on that clutch. But like you said, mostly Breezy, and I mean, you were saying that you thought he was a little bit quiet. Same with Ethan, and then there was that sick 4K by Ethan as well over Waterfall. So I mean, look at this clutch. It's just that second shot was just amazing.
It's nasty, isn't it?
And I think that is really demoralizing. If you're B.O.O.T, you're like, come on, guys, like that was our chance. And their economy was just starting to get going, just like Yanko was saying. So that really put them in the bin. These guys, they've beaten Tyloo on this map, and the way that they did it online was just through sheer aggression. They took control of A main. They had territory control. And against NRG right now, they just got beaten up. Anywhere they went, it just fell apart. Splashkey with no impact on the AWP.
I guess that's the problem, Yanko, isn't it? Is when you are kind of outmatched in this sense on an individual skill left. Like obviously from what we saw from Cirque and Breezy and Ethan, it's tough to match up with those guys as B.O.O.T. And if you want to be aggressive, you're kind of playing right into their hand.
Yeah, you can see Winter. I mean, he is their best player really, and he only joined a month ago. You know, he's the only guy who's not Singaporean. He's Kazakhstani. So obviously there's some issues there in terms of team play. You know, after a month, they would have liked to have had a bit more time. But I agree, you know, there's a discrepancy in firepower, and also it's more difficult to execute those aggressive plays on the CT side when you don't have the economy on your side. That means, you know, you either have a disadvantage in terms of equipment, weaponry, right? So you have to take even bigger risks, and your hand is being forced at that point, and you don't really want it to go that way.
Right. Well, NRG had a close game yesterday against Astralis, obviously getting started on the right foot here in day 2. We're going to hear from the boys right now about their thoughts heading into IEM Sydney.
This current lineup I'm on, that it's the best team environment I've had in any of my teams. I obviously have friends from older teams and stuff, but I'd say this team feels like a family outside of the game, which is very rare. It's very hard to get 5 people on the same page in and out of game. And I think a large part of our success is also due to the fact that we all get along. I would say our preparation for this event specifically has sort of just been to continue what we've been doing online and not to change anything, since we have had a lot of success lately. So we just want to see how our current way of doing things will translate into this event. We definitely have the most confidence ever. We haven't played at a LAN yet with this current lineup. We are aiming to get out of groups. If we play like we do online, we should have no problem at least getting out of groups, or at least giving a fight to the good teams. Our group is a lot harder than the other group on paper, so I think I prefer that too. It's a good test for us, and if we get out of groups, then that's good.
That is a powerful beard, and it's good to see this team playing well. Obviously, when, you know, some of the roster changes going through the North American scene, a lot of rumors, a lot of hopeful saying maybe Cirque to Cloud9 to replace Skadoodle. I'm actually very glad this team stuck together, because they are looking very solid.
Yeah, please, no, that'd be devastating, wouldn't it? You just start to get a powerhouse like this, and you just get robbed of your star player. I'd be very upset with that. But yeah, I mean, look, NRG, they came into this tournament versus Astralis, and we saw that video then, and they were talking about, you know, just testing how they play online, and well, it seems to have worked. I mean, sure, they lost to Astralis, but they handed B.O.O.T the defeat a lot easier than I've seen Australian teams. So.
Listen, if anything, considering the backing NRG has, financially speaking, I mean, they're going to be the one who are going to start getting these better players in NA, right? If this, you know, keeps up the same level of play, they're the ones who are going to be getting all the upgrades, you know. Stewie coming in to NRG after SK. They know
Why not, right?
They know how to win, or well, at least get out of groups.
Yeah, right. They have that leg up on SK at the moment, obviously, as well, backed by the Kings, I think it is, the Sacramento Kings of the NBA, I believe that's
something like that. Shaq is there, of course.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Your best friend.
Yeah, my mate. Yeah, me and Shaq go way back. Yeah, I mean, now we're going to move on to Inferno. I mean, Cash, as crazy as it seems, a 5-16 loss for B.O.O.T. It's their pick. So going into Inferno now, could this be a little bit easier for them? Sometimes a little bit harder to pull off some of the aggressive plays if you're NRG. Sometimes a little bit more difficult to bully on this map.
Well, they only played it once against Tai Lu and they lost 16-10. And, you know, that was another punish from Tai Lu in a best of 3 after B.O.O.T. vetoed overpass, I believe it was. So for them, this is like even worse. If they couldn't put up a good fight, the only thing that you might have going for them is if they were like slow to get into the game really, and now they're a bit more warmed up, so they're going to play better individually, but I just don't see it happening.
Let's focus on that kind of train of thought. Let's focus on like the win conditions for this B.O.O.T. team. Let's talk about some of the positives. I know we didn't necessarily see it in that map, but Sniper from the region, you've seen these guys much more than Yanko or I. Talk about some of the good things you've seen from them when they've beat teams like Tai Lu in the past.
When they beat teams like Tai Lu in the past, it's all through teamwork and aggression and getting that real estate on their CT side. They've got Splashki, who against Australian teams, he performs very well. I think he might just be suffering a little bit of stage fright here. And then they also have Ben Kai. Now, he wasn't here last week for the regional APAC Pro League finals, and they did pretty good, to be honest. But, you know, missing Ben Kai is a big deal for them. He is a star player for them. He's obviously their best player so far this tournament, but he's one of those guys at the moment you're just not even noticing. He's just doing the Crims level of work where usually we're used to seeing him get 2 kills, 3 kills, and just behaving a bit like a Ben Tet. And then you've got the likes of Tommy, who comes up with some pretty clutch rounds here and there. But apart from that, Inferno is looking very dire for them.
I mean, yeah, I know we don't really know. I mean, where this is necessarily going to be able to take the field.
Talking about win conditions, Jason, is what you wanted. Is like the whole underdog story, right? Win pissed around the CT side, keep control of the economy, keep resetting them, right? Because you need to have that cushion if you're B.O.O.T. here, right? Because if it's just a level playing field, then you need to win like consecutive gun rounds really to get a couple of those quote-unquote free rounds, the anti-ecos. I don't think they have what it takes to make that happen.
Go through the upset checklist of controlling that economy and everything. The game is going live. Are either you guys going to take it away from NRG?
Nah.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to be back over to your commentators. It's going to be Henry and Harry once again.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the boys. We are back.
We're going to be heading into a tech pause, it looks like, Henry, just immediately. But yeah, we're going to be getting into this second map, B.O.O.T. versus NRG. Of course, NRG 1-0 up in the series right now, Henry. Of course, they won out the map pick of B.O.O.T. over on Cash. Heading into Inferno, that's the map pick of NRG. And as I said, over in Pro League, they looked very, very good on this map. So I think that could throw some problems the way of this B.O.O.T. team.
Well, straight into the technical pause, as we like it. Gives them a chance to get a bit more time to work out their strategies coming into this one. Remember, this is the NRG pick, so we expect it to end 2-0, but you never know, B.O.O.T. might have something up their sleeve. They'll be going aggressive towards Banana at the start. 4 players actually on that side of the map. There's Zerg and Fugly to open things up. Will be the 5-on-3 very early on. Winter to defend B. I'm not really sure he'll be able to do much with this one. Takes a bit of damage and decides to fall back.
Wrap through CT, it's all on it to Ben Kai. And he's 1v5. He's going to struggle here. He's able to get rid of Cirque. But he still has so many kills to find now. They know exactly where he is. Even this wrap round from Breezy, he's going to be running all the way back through mid from this A bomb site. All their attention over here towards Banana, and Fugly just going to pick that up. NRG, they've won the pistol round here over on the T side. And I mean, you can kind of see they're looking very, very confident right now, Henry. They were just swarming over towards the A bomb site, running through, you know, not really taking that round all too seriously. Or at least that's what it felt like. Brimming with confidence. This is a very, very good map for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, NRG have looked sensational so far. This hasn't really been much of a challenge for them. It looks like this will be 2-0, but you never know. How has a player already died?
I do think that that's just the
technical issue still coming in.
The cinematic camera has it.
Oh, there we go. Benka with the first player to drop. Looks like this should be a bit of a walk in the park. Splash the AWPer. Doesn't pick up any armor. And it's up to Tommy to try and find some headshots here. Might be able to deliver a couple, but he does rise to the occasion that actually gets all 3. What is going on here? This is absolutely unbelievable. 4 kills of the Desert Eagle. Will it be enough to win the round? Breezy doing everything he can to say no. 4 kills out of nowhere, seemingly.
How on earth have they made their way back into this round? That was unreal. Where did that even come from Tommy Breezy? Gonna peek out, but he's gonna fall at the hands of Impression. B.O.O.T, they are back into this. And I mean, maybe if we can see more hero plays like that from Tommy, B.O.O.T, they actually stand a shot here.
Absolutely so. Well, it will be round number 3, presumably the force buy coming in, and you can see maybe getting a bit overzealous there. The fact they didn't use any utility and having to check both angles. If one of you goes down, the other one is almost certainly going to as well. One smoke towards the arch, just focusing on quad. That could have been enough to win that round. They already had the opening pick. Didn't have to go in dry, but there we go. Will be B.O.O.T answering straight back. Round 3, and it will be CZs and P250s, 1 Deagle, 4 Breezy. We'll see what round number 3 will bring. They've got smokes, flashbangs, and up against the pretty rifle-heavy setup of B.O.O.T. You can see they've got the AKs, M4s. Splash will be on that UMP. He's got a Deagle in his back pocket as well. Splash waiting in the corner. Just going to be setting up his teammate as he looks for information, can drop a smoke as soon as he gets any sort of intel there on the other side.
NRG throughout the utility, they're just going to look to try and dive on in, but first, from CT, going to try and make a splash, but he only manages 1. Impression's been tagged down low. He has to try and flash himself out, and oh no, he gets caught. Fugly's going to fight him. NRG trying to steal a round back. Winter, well, he's here. He's joined, of course, by B.O.O.T. Tom's a long way away. He was the hero of the previous round. This time, 3 on a 4, and I think for B.O.O.T, the question becomes, do you even try and go for this one now? I mean, you know, you combine to the next round. If you do manage to save these 3 rifles, the temptation's definitely going to be there. And already Tommy's backed away. Winter's now going to join him. B.O.O.T mustn't go down if they want to buy. And there we go. Now that becomes a pretty awkward concept into the next round. As NRG, they've stolen around straight back. And now the force from B.O.O.T is going to be that much weaker.
Well, there it is, NRG. Nothing too technical, really. In towards B they went, managed to trade out the first kill. A little bit scrappy from the CTs. Towards those new boxes, though, that's where Impression really dropped the ball. He had the M4, hit the range advantage. Didn't nail the first shot, panicked a bit, tried to put the flashbang. If you're ever in those sort of scenarios, you know, see terrorists rushing towards you, unless you've got like a Molotov or incendiary, which can really help you out, one flash at that sort of range is not going to blind all 4 of them and give you a big spray down. You might as well challenge, at least get 1 for 1. Going down with absolutely nothing was that round pretty much completely decided. NRG strike right back. There will be, of course, obviously the force buy with the saved weaponry, M4s, and a couple of CZs as well. Tommy looking like he wants to open things up. He's going to have to go for these 3. He hasn't got an exit strategy here. And there it is. I feel like as soon as you see that Molotov, you've got to get out of there, because even if you get 1 kill, you're certainly going down. Splash trying to avoid the wall bang as he'll smoke off the steps here. Obviously wants to get that M4. That's waiting, but Breezy, nice intelligent play from him. Good position, and he'll wait to see if Splash will try and pick it up.
Yeah, he's oh, Henry, that was...
You okay?
Yeah, you know, proper 12-year-old internals there. Jeez. Little voice crack, but let's see if Splash could not crack under the pressure. Breezy gonna get rid of him. Winter and B.O.O.T left alive. Really not ready for this, am I? But they're both over here towards the B-bomb site. Cirque locking things down. Bomb over towards ramp. And, oh, no. This is looking like it could be the round for NRG.
Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much done. 50 seconds. 4 on 2. Winter has got the AK-47, incendiary and smoke available to them. B.O.O.T just with the CZ, and you can see NRG don't wanting to make similar mistakes. They found themselves in round number 2. Cirque will be alone towards B, and that's where both the CTs will be waiting. And then 4, maybe a kill in the back here. Unfortunately, not able to do all the damage required, so Cirque can fall back and actually jump in towards apartments here. Knowing that both players are there, he can actually get the bomb down now. 20 seconds remaining, won't really matter though, and it's up to the CTs to hold up and see if they can take these rifles into the next round. They will be eco. I think even if they do save 2 rifles here, NRG presumably going to go hunting and see what they can find. You can see everyone running around, collecting all the weaponry and fallen grenades. And the CTs will hold up towards ruins and the coffins right now. Doesn't look like the T's really want anything to do with this. They'll just hold on to what they've got. Maybe they're absolutely fine knowing that B.O.O.T will save 2 rifles here. Maybe it'll tempt them into a force buy. Then they can really start to shut down the economy there. So the lifeline B.O.O.T got with that epic 4K with the Deagle doesn't seem like it will really be enough to get anything together. But they have got 2 rifles, and we'll see whether they can get a little bit deeper. Splash with 7k. I'm not sure that's accurate. I have had a bit of an issue. Yeah, so okay, that's his minus 1 in 15. That's definitely not accurate. I was going to say that doesn't make any sense. So hopefully we'll sort out whatever's going on there. 3-1. Doesn't look like they'll be going for the full investment. Splash with just the CZ. And there we go. We're back in there now. Impression pretty much full eco. PT50. No armor, no nades.
Yeah, you're really looking towards Winter and Benkai to try and step up. Tommy does have some armor to go alongside this. Was him in that second round who's able to get the hero play that propelled Boot to find their one solitary round that they have right now. Splash and Tommy can hear these players clearing out apartments. They know that there's at least 2 players here as they hear the footsteps running around. They're now going to start to back away. And actually, if you're Boot, you can imagine you kind of have a pretty good mental picture as to what's going on as they've heard the players fall back from apartments. They hear them just go jogging on down into mid. Now they're stacked up on Banana, and there is just Benkai here inside the B-bomb site. The rest of Boot all stacked up over on A. Spikes and Flash is now going to rain in. Benkai, he's going to go in with the peek. He goes through the smoke, and they're not ready for this. Benkai in with 1, but that's it. Daps gets the trade. This round is all said and done.
I think you might be right there. Probably want to save the AK for the next round. It's going to be 4-1 on the T side of Inferno. If you are just joining us, loser goes home. It's a best of 3. NRG currently up 1-0 after a pretty convincing performance on Cash. It was 5 in the end. They're going to get a couple of kills here, but Magazine eludes him, and he'll just get the 1. Went up with the second frag. He'll have the AK. Daps almost certainly going to kill Christian here if he can avoid the PG-50. Apparently he cannot, so it's actually getting quite costly now for the NRG boys. So trying to get out of that. And they might just hold him at bay with that Molotov deployed. He's going to try and do whatever he can to find these kills. Need to get away from the bomb now. Winter could get the double spray down here. That would be pretty promising going forward. But smoke deployed. 2 players survive. An expensive round, but they get one on the board. Oh, look at that overall money. 7k for Breezy. And after the reinvestments, it'll be down to 3k at the drop of weapon there. Orb not coming out just yet. I don't think anyone on the CT side can afford it, but they can get a full rifle setup here. Really need to start arriving in this best of 3. Their map pick did not go well whatsoever.
No, most certainly did not. And NRG, while they've looked so incredibly good, this is going to be the first test of the metal for Boot in this map as they get their buy into this round. And I'm curious to see how they do decide to play this. Now, one thing I will say is, I've seen NRG play this map a hell of a lot over in Pro League. And they're very, very well versed on it. It's one that they feel very at home on. So I do think Boot are going to have to try and throw something a little bit exciting their way. Something that perhaps NRG haven't seen before. I don't think you could just get away with playing a default as such. Because I tell you what, NRG, they are so incredibly practiced and so drilled on this map. As Tommy to open up, Trey comes through. Ethan's up past this smoke, and Winter's got no idea. They've lost the man over at long, and now it is just Splash. 1v4, effectively inside of Pit. Players coming his way. There's the first onto Ethan, but Cirque's in with the trade. Impression and Benkai left to try and secure this round for Boot. 2 versus 3. Cirque and Breezy both tagged down low, so it is possible. And while they're a long way away, they do still have a decent bit of utility to work with. 1 smoke up for NRG. That's going to make this round very, very tricky. They can just smoke off this long angle. And as Daps put that second one down, you imagine for Boot, this could be the call to save coming on in. Benkai, he's going to creep forward. Daps gives up that kill, and that could be a pretty big kill to give away. The other 2 players both tagged within inches of their life. Benkai's up through the smoke. Breezy's found 1. Benkai going to get the trade, and now it's Breezy down in the pit. Benkai has to find the kill. He's going to go hunting. He does manage to get it, but there's no time left for the defuse, and NRG, they lose everyone, but they find themselves a 5th round.
Yeah, close, but no cigar, I'm afraid. Benkai desperately gunning towards the pit and just playing that perfectly, just running the clock down, making sure there's no time to defuse. Sure, a close round, but unfortunately they don't win games. And it does cost NRG a bit of cash. We can see they're fully invested with money to spare into round number 7 here. After all 5 players go down, can't say the same thing for Boot, as they'll have that saved AK and pistols CZs, Deagles, PT50s. They've got 4 HE grenades. They'll probably nade towards middle, and Banana actually going to be focusing that airstrike towards mid. He takes the majority of the damage there. Daps will all towards the top of Banana. They're actually going to rotate through. After showing 3 or 4 grenades down middle, they're hoping that will be enough to funnel NRG in towards the B bomb side. It's looking like that's quite a promising idea right now. Winter patrols top of middle. His teammate Splash will be in the apartments. The execution looking likely now. The NRG boys boost in towards CD spawn. That's the AK, so watch out for that. Execution coming in. NRG though, I don't think they'll be tricked by this. They'll probably be ready and waiting to pre-fire that boost. That's if they even go in.
Well, Ethan's already up past this smoke, and actually B.O.O.T's got no idea. He hasn't even been able to get that trade. I mean, on the upside, he hasn't fired a bullet yet. They don't know that he's there, and while he does tag up Cirque, he doesn't find the kill. The Molotov might be enough to do it.
He's dead.
He's going to get roasted. So man advantage right now in favor of Boot. B.O.O.T's silence up on the boost is actually rewarded as well in that situation. But NRG, they've managed to get across. They're going to go and get this bomb down. Splash has taken a very, very lengthy rotation, but that shot from B.O.O.T in through the smoke, through the wall, 2 objects in his way, and he's able to find the kill. Impression now drops Breezy, and it's Daps. 1 versus 4. There's the first onto Impression.
They have got a kit as well. This is possible for the CTs. I say possible, it's a 3-on-1. You'd hope it would be possible for them, but Daps with a good lineup could have gone horribly wrong. Bomb will be defused. Finally, things looking good for Boot, and it's another round where they were under-equipped, actually. They did the same thing on Cash. Any rounds they really got on the board were when they had partial buys with saved weaponry. This time they'll take the AK and the AWP into round number 8 here. Still money available for NRG, but this will be the last of it. You can see a couple of compromises being made. I think Cirque has the AWP. There it is. And Fugly will be on that SMG. To be specific, with 4 smokes. Bare bones utility. You can see they've got 2 Molotovs, a few flashbangs. As we'll see if they can bounce back here and hopefully reset Boots. But round's getting better and better. Remember, they're on the CT side. They want to be at least posting 7-8 rounds here to even have a chance, as NRG will be much stronger on the CT forces.
I do like this from Boot, though. They're going to take control of Banana. Impression's already down over towards Logs. He has Splash here to back him up, but NRG, they're wasting no time. They're going to go out through mid. Winter's able to find the first. Tommy's there. And actually, they all line up for Tommy and Winter. They lock it down over in mid. Daps answers back with 2, and he still has to find a 3rd. He hasn't actually spotted out the man. And that's B.O.O.T to go ahead and take his head off. Boot will secure a 3rd round. They keep 3 players alive as well, so they're starting to build up that buffer that's necessary to dodge the reset. This was a very, very convincing hold over here in mid from Winter and Tommy.
Absolutely. You could see those M4s gunning them down. Crossfire established. Multiple frags coming in. This is looking better now. Surely the eco for NRG. Indeed it is. Glocks, PT50s, 1 flashbang. And should be a chance for them to really sink their teeth into this first half. Like we said, looking for an 8 rounds on the Boot side. That would be enough to make this game at least competitive in the second half. They got overall. No armor, no nades. Just that 1 flashbang. Taps with the PT50. Objective here, get that bomb down. They'll just be trying to trade out kills best they can towards B. Flash over once everyone's at the top. And hopefully catch CTs with grenades in their hand. That would be ideal. Not going to be the case though, but there is 1 trade. Can they find a second? Dink comes through. B.O.O.T, 19 HP, needs to avoid going down. Can't do it. Bomb surely planted at this point. This is perfect now for NRG. They won't win the round, but this is enough.
Splash is the first man on the scene. He's got the AWP, and there's the first to Daps. Fugly. Now with the M4 going to take the peek, and Splash here, he finds both the kills. The bomb plant, though, is all NRG wanted from that. They're going to go be very, very happy now looking in it to the next round. Boot, though, they're finding themselves a 4th, and this is pretty impressive. You know, coming into this, I wasn't, especially after what we saw over on Cash, the map pick of Boot, I wasn't really expecting, you know, all too much of a showing. I'll be honest with you, Henry. I kind of wrote this off as, you know, going to be a very, very decisive win for NRG. They're so dominant on this map usually, and 5-4 Boot, I think they're looking pretty good right now.
You have to remember that there's slight asterisks next to that huge scoreline in Cash. If Cirque hadn't have pulled off that 1 versus 4, that game probably would have been quite close. That completely shut down the economy, the morale. It got them arguing, and they've had a bit of a mental reset now. They're showing they still can play at this level, Boots, and this is a much better performance so far. Ethan, it's the incendiary extinguished for him. And he'll be trying to find this first kill as CT's actually getting quite aggressive here. Good flashbang though. That's getting things very uncomfortable for Impression. His teammate tries to fall back as well. He goes towards the sandbags, but Ethan has seen exactly where that's thrown. If he got the double there, that would have been epic, but not going to be the case. Breezy, easy kill towards Tommy. And now a 4-on-2 begins. Winter and Benko have to see if there's anything available to them. As presumably the bomb goes towards B. Maybe not. It's actually heading down towards Winnow. And speaking of which, Winter will be in the boiler room right now, watching for any rotations where Fugly completely rails him from the underpass.
Yeah, and if you're Bunkai, you're really hoping that, maybe they just, a few stragglers go walking into B, but it's not the case. He can just now look to hold on to this M4. 6th round going to be on the board for NRG. Bunkai, you imagine he doesn't try and go for this, and, if he goes any further forward, he might end up dying anyway. Cirque is waiting down here towards the base of Banana, and there's the kill to come through. NRG locked in there sick. There is still money for the buy here for B.O.O.T. Splash can get the AWP. Winter can drop a gun over. They can get a pretty convincing buy on the cards, all things considered.
Yeah, it's gonna call for the pause though, as the guys work out with the players. I can see the admin getting involved, so possibly a bit of a technical issue here. It's normally, oh no, sorry, it's tactical. I was about to say it's normally something like TeamSpeak or something like that, but it looks like it's just be a chance for them to discuss their options and what play they want to make here and work out the money. Obviously, the coach, Imi, in the background will be working out what they probably have. Do they have the AWP? Will they have incendiary? Should we go for the execution here? Lots of different variables to dictate the way you operate on the T side. Money is one of the huge factors. Down to the middle of your screen. The playoff beard going on. Since Ethan's arrival in the past 76 matches, NRG have won 58 of them. They have been the main talking point of the NA Pro League right now in ESL, haven't they?
They most certainly have, Henry. They had a very, very impressive run. I think it was them and Liquid were both undefeated when they went head-to-head, and of course one of them then had to finally break that chain. I think actually both teams did. I think that was a split series. But, I'm thinking back a while. Still, yeah, NRG, they did phenomenal in Pro League and in, all the other kind of online events that were on at the time. And now they're living up to the hype over here on LAN, but this round is certainly not going their way. B.O.O.T. They've got a 2-man advantage. Fugly's over here towards apartments. Ooh, did he see Tommy? I don't think he did. There is a man looking up here. That's going to be Bunkai. He's just tucked away. Winter's going to be here joining him, and Fugly backed up. He's found the first on a Bunkai, who now emerges from his hidey hole, and he'd be promptly struck down by Fugly. Winter and Tommy, these two have been so good at holding mid for B.O.O.T. Can they keep the good times rolling? Certainly not. Tommy and Winter both going to fall, and now it's Impression and Splash thrown into this round. Luckily enough, Impression, he's going to get that kill for free. We're plunged into a 2-on-2. Splash is a long way away.
Yeah, poor positioning there from Cirque. I'm not sure why he's by quad, so confident no one's coming behind him. He needs to be in that pit. A slight oversight there, certainly given B.O.O.T. a chance of in this round, but Molotovs deployed, flashbangs coming in as well. There is a kit available, but Splash with the AWP, hardly the ideal weapon. Same story for Impression as UMP. Coming in now, that's going to be surely the AWP removed, and indeed Impression as well. 7-4, and that was a good start from B.O.O.T. They managed to get the opening kill with the utility play towards Banana. Locking in was Ethan towards the corner cubby hole. He had to extinguish it himself. Double nades come in. 5-on-4, but wasn't quite enough to pick up the round. Went back towards A. Good trades from NRG. Even with the misplay from Cirque, they managed to recover the round and send B.O.O.T. spiraling into a full eco situation there. A couple of Deagles, PT50s, one smoke. Looking like NRG will be winning this half, and that is not good news on the CT side of Inferno here. Opting to assert their dominance towards the banana area, getting that control nice and quick. Breezy will go down to 26 HP. Dishes out some damage himself. Impression feeling the brunt of it, but somehow Daps has gone down to a PT50 at that range. Good lord.
They're able to trade. I tell you what, Henry, you kind of look at this round and you think, yeah, it should be an NRG round, but if you recall, B.O.O.T, they've looked very, very proficient with these pistols. I don't think we can write them off just yet, especially the damage done on a Breezy. Winter aggressing into apartments. They want to try and make this round costly. Tommy's going to be there with him. Splash has rotated into the B-bomb side. He still has that Deeg to rely on. Smoke goes down for CT. NRG, the question now becomes, do they keep pushing forward? It does look like that's the call that's been made. You can see Impression. He's going to be the first man to rotate round. Winter, in the meantime, he's gone out through apartments. It's Splash to try and make a stand. He doesn't manage anything. Impression goes through.
Not
He's
again.
lined up two, and Breezy in with a trade. That's the best he can do. Bomb does go down. Tommy and Winter to try and clutch this out for B.O.O.T. They are going to be running into rifles as utility still up for NRG. Winter's scavenged an AK down on Banana. Tommy, he was the D King in that second round. Now he is to relive those glory days of rounds past. Creeping forward, he has the hunch that Fugly's there. He's going to spot him but misses the opening shot. Now they know where Tommy is. That time's ticked down so low. They have to get the pace moving here. Winter's in with one, but he still has to find the other, and Fugly just playing for time. Perfect from him. NRG will be securing an 8th round.
Absolutely. And Winter might be able to save this AK. Looks like he probably will now as he gets towards spawn. Oh, not quite. You see a lot of pro players look towards the bomb because it's like an old habit from Source. If you look towards it, you can actually take less damage. Doesn't really happen in CSGO anymore, but either way, B.O.O.T will not save anything there, and they will have money for the next round. It's still not ideal, but they really need to start posting more, as they'll have UMPs and no kits from what I can see. Absolutely not. Bare bones utility. Or for Cirque again. A quieter game from him. 9 kills, 8 deaths. And nothing insane as of yet. Round 13, it feels like this one is heading to a 2-0, Harry. But we'll see. If they can get the 8-7, could be enough. That's going to be a good start. Cirque surely going to burn here. Yeah, actually opting to run through the flames himself. I guess he didn't realize how low he was. We see this boost quite a lot towards the boiler room. This is looking like a very promising round now, as Breezy will be dropped by Benkai. This is a good opener, actually. If B.O.O.T can win this round, money is completely done for. 5 on 3. Adapts to try and recover the situation.
He's going to go down. That's the shot from Impression. And Ethan's here, trying to peek through that smoke. There's a tiny gap, and Flash goes over. He's able to find the first, maybe a second on a Splash, and Ethan, well, he's dominating the B-bomb site, but he still has Benkai to contend with. That smoke going to go down. Ooh, they get across, and that makes you cringe as they go across in the crosshair. But now Ethan, nice shot down on a Winter. It all falls on a Fugly. He has to complete what Ethan started, and it's not meant to be. A double kill from Tommy nets the 5th round for B.O.O.T.
Well, that bomb going down gives them at least one more buy. But yes, B.O.O.T, good job again. Cirque can't really do anything. You have to remember, they're on the T side of Inferno right now. And famously, very difficult, even for star AWPers, to really have that much impact. We discussed it yesterday in the FaZe game. The Guardian's one of the few players that can consistently buy the AWP and find opening picks. It was Tommy who managed to finish things off there with the AK-47. You can see him getting that low HP Fugly down. So keeping themselves within the game at least. Still going to be a very difficult half going forward. Coming to the tail end now of the first. CZ for Daps. And they have gone for not exactly a force buy. You can see Ethan with $2,600 residual cash. Just going to have that P250, and the CT's going for the aggressive push. One that might go horribly wrong, but for now they maintain the man advantage. 2 for 1. Ethan again really has been struggling the utility over a B. Takes a lot of damage, or they're losing a player pretty much consistently. Daps will use that CZ towards the top of middle. Cirque has got the AK, and that's a lovely shot. Well played by Daps. Good timing. Actually opens up the A-bomb site completely. And he doesn't want the rifle in the pit. He just wants to make sure he can stop the rotations. Good smoke. Bomb's still down at T-steps. That is a bit of a problem, but all the CTs have rotated from the B site. Now, if you're super smart and Ethan decides to go all the way to a B, he'd find an open site here, but I don't think that'll be happening. Doesn't have that intel, of course. Cirque to hold boiler. It's got that AK-47 and full health. CTs have no idea what's going on right now. So much dead air. As the flashback comes in towards middle, Cirque certainly spotted the shadow.
That bomb gets a free route into the A-bomb site as well, in from apartments. They're going to get it down, and this is all on the back of B.O.O.T being a bit overzealous. Daps finding that one kill as well into the A-bomb site, and B.O.O.T getting caught rotating everyone over towards B. Now it's a 3-on-3, and this is such a pivotal moment for B.O.O.T in this game. A win here, and they've chunked down the economy of NRG. A loss, and their economy is bottomed out. It's a big round. Decides whether or not they can recover in this half. Molotov down into the pit. Daps opens up. A second kill for him in this round. Now the player emerges out from apartments. That's going to be Daps, and 3rd from him in pit. And it's only Impression left alive. 1v3, 7 HP. He's going to run for the hills. NRG, they've locked themselves in a 9th round. And for B.O.O.T, money, well, that's a thing of the past.
Yeah, that's the pretty harsh reset coming through. Daps with 3. Actually, did a fantastic job with that CZ. The timing was spot on as he went towards the quad. Final player boosting up towards the apartments. Down he went. And it will be the final round of the first half. Yeah, like I said, reset. Certainly a factor here. Splash on the MP9. UMP's coming out. Maybe a shotgun. Haven't really seen many shotguns this tournament so far. Obviously, Cobblestone removed now for this tournament. That was one of the most prolific shotgun maps. Nuke starting to be the new contender for that particular mantle, but we'll see. This Deagles, SMGs, there is 1 rifle saved in the previous round. That's in the hands of Impression. 10-5, looking very likely at this point.
I mean, that utility that's been so good for Boot down here on Banana this time, it doesn't really get anything done. It hasn't even held back the offensive NRG. They've gone straight through that deep smoke down at the base of Banana. They're going to boost Ethan up, and actually he falls. Winter's in with 1 out on a Breezy as well, so they've got themselves a 2-man advantage. NRG haven't really got anything to answer back with. They throw the 1 weapon out of the map. That's a pretty smart play. It means that no one from this B-bomb site can push down and secure that. But throwing guns at the map is one thing. They have to try and find a way back into this round. Now Winter, he's the real problem. He's all the way down here in alt mid. He has so much information just from this forward position. He's allowed for that 3rd man, Bunkai, to go rotating into the B-bomb site. It's going to be a 3-on-3, an even fight here inside of B, and they're the sort of fights you don't want to be taking if you're NRG. Smoke goes down for CT, flashes rain in. Splash going to fall, but Impression's there to answer back, and Bunkai and Impression, they managed to lock the round in for Boot. It's going to be a 9-6 half in favor of NRG, Henry.
Absolutely is. This is much more competitive than the first map. We'll see whether they can continue this form and maybe get to double digits, maybe even a map victory after this break. Do not go anywhere.
It's all to play for. The loser of this will be heading home. NRG, they won the first map, the map pick of B.O.O.T. They currently sit 9-6 up. Moving to the CT side of Inferno. Henry, they are edging ever so closely more towards the end and making this a 2-0. But B.O.O.T, they looked pretty good in that first half. Can they keep it going? Well, now that Cirque is going to have his AWP in hand, will we see things become a bit more problematic?
I think that's the main problem here. The fact of the matter is they got 6 rounds. Sure, that's okay, but that was on the CT side, and that's where Cirque is almost stifled. He can't really do too much on the C side of Inferno. On the CT side, however, he can go absolutely nuts. He'll be able to push towards Banana, middle, apartment, second mid, and try and open things up. It doesn't seem like Splash can go toe-to-toe with him whatsoever. He's way out of his depth in terms of the AWP matchup. But we'll see if they can win the pistol here. You never know. All it takes is a few mistakes from the NRG boys, and it could all fall apart as they get ready for the second half here. Not really much has to be said if they can win the pistol, which they've been very good at so far. They've had some clinical performances in these initial gun rounds. So we'll see whether this will be more of the same. Let's have a look. B.O.O.T now with their buy. 1 smoke, 2 flashbangs, no HEs or upgraded pistols. Suggests they won't finish at the B-bomb site, but Dabs, he'll be looking to hunt them down here. He'll push down towards the bench, and looks like the T's don't have any sort of idea. Reload coming in. Oh my goodness, Dabs is in a perfect position to shut this all down. They are going to be watching it somewhat, and luckily, well, I was about to say Splash should be able to get a frag in return, but he goes down first. He will commit towards B. Maybe bomb going down is as good as it gets to this point. 5 on 3. They do have time to position themselves, so not all is lost. And the bomb doesn't even go down, Harry, so this is all falling apart.
Yeah, Tommy going to try and do what he can. Him and Winter. Oh, now just Tommy. 1v5, and he's going to fall. It's clinical, it's clean, and everything in between for NRG. 5 players stay alive. And they're just so good at that, just dismembering their opposition, and they don't lose anyone in the process.
Yeah, they almost funneled them up towards B there. Dabs pushing down towards bench. He gets that 1 kill. At that point, they know they've got no exit strategy. They just have to go in and hope for the best, and they just got picked off. And unfortunately, the bomb didn't even get planted, which means they have to force by here. CZs, Deagles, and 1 flashbang. That's about it. NRG hitting double digits after the first round of the second half. Does not bode well. But you can always answer back with these force by rounds, and you mentioned it before in the first. B.O.O.T seemed pretty nifty actually with the pistols. They actually seem to be able to open things up. You remember that 4K in the first half. Can they do it again? Time will tell. Splash. Speculative shots there towards the top of Banana. Breezy will be holding the apartments because they'll try and hold them off as long as he possibly can. Maybe a bit premature on the incendiary. That allows them to just get some more intel.
Wow. It was Tommy's Deagle antics that was able to net them their first round in the first half. Can he replicate that once again? He's here. He has a supporting cast around him. He's going to lead the way on out. They managed to get control of the top of mid, but NRG, they have 4 players stacked up over here towards this A-bomb site. For B.O.O.T, this is not an easy task. They have no utility. They have to win these opening gunfights. You have no way of getting Daps or Cirque off of this angle. This is a very, very big ask for Bunkai, who leads the way. The bait and switch, they go into the arms of Daps. He mops up 2. Cirque going to answer back with 1 more. It's just Winter and Splash left. 2v5. And while Daps goes hunting, he will go down. Cirque, surely not. There's 3 kills for him as him and Daps, between them, lock in that round.
Lovely stuff. 11-6 now. Should be the full eco for B.O.O.T. No bomb planted. 16 kills for Benkai. So at least he's putting up decent numbers just behind the likes of Dabs, who's at the top of the scoreboard with 17. Timeout at this point, knowing you're going to be full eco, I'm not sure what you're really going to be discussing, if I'm honest. I guess you'd maybe talking about the next round. Might as well use the tactical timeout, and we'll see whether they can get anything done here. They are going to be discussing options, and I can't imagine a world where they force by here. But they seem quite
I mean, yeah, there was
conversational.
yeah, there was
talking about.
There was smiles all around. They look pretty chilled out. So maybe there's a plan being formulated heading into this round.
Well, PT50s only, no armor, no nades, so no curveballs. That's why I was kind of anticipating. Maybe they got something up their sleeve and they go for some deagles, something like that. But grenades coming in, and Cirque just laying down the law here. UMP should find a couple of kills, certainly does. That's $1,200 in the bag. They did take considerable damage, but plenty of chance to fall back. And yep, well, this time out, it's just led them to a point where they're holding second of middle and hoping to maybe get one kill.
They're being hounded down by NRG. Bankai's going to get one, but that is it. 12-6, NRG. They win the pistol, they convert the next 2 rounds as well. And I mean, that kind of, you know, really looking at it, right, if you kind of look at what happened in the pistol round, B.O.O.T, they had the opportunity to get the bomb down. It gets denied, if you recall, with, you know, literally milliseconds left to spare. And, you know, stuff like that really does matter if you are B.O.O.T right now. It could have been the difference between, you know, getting a buy in a round early. Now they've got the AKs up, but the utility, well, it doesn't look too great. It's going to be enough to work with.
Yeah, they've got basic utility, a couple of smokes, well, 4 smokes to be exact, 1 Molotov, flashbangs. It's certainly not ideal, but we'll see if they can make it work. Wallbang attempt there from B.O.O.T, and I love this position. It always seems to work out crazy. Better off just holding his position here. He's got his teammate to watch his steps. Actually, a lovely little setup if you think about it. This exchange will happen towards Banana, Winter, and Impression. Taking an 8, both down to 77 HP. Cirque with the AWP on that side. You can see, how would you even get past this initial play? UMP designed to go toe-to-toe with Benkai here. He's trying to clear out the boiler. Wallbang attempt, and that just signals that Benkai's there. And it looks like he'll be going down. There it is. Can even find the AK-47 just within his grasp, and they'll fall back now. Good play. Good opening pick. Good fall back. And they've managed to upgrade an SMG to an AK. Perfect.
So now for B.O.O.T, I mean, you know, they have to try and find something. They've dwindled down the very limited utility they have. They're down to 2 smokes. They've thrown 1 out for the cross into the B-bomb set. They have 1 left for the off plan. That's a big kill to find. Daps. Oh, it's a bit dicey. Tommy's going to find him. So they've got themselves the man advantage. They have control of the B-bomb site. And now for NRG, the question becomes, do they even try and go for this? They're already backing away. The save call comes in.
No reason to even challenge that one. If the bomb's planted and you've got 0 kills in the initial exchange, and when they finally commit all the players towards the B site, very unlikely you win it. And you've got such a huge lead right now, you don't need to win this round. Keep the money strong. You can take this AWP, the rifles into the next round. It's absolutely fine. Not the greatest setup, I have to say. Towards B, you can see they weren't really playing off each other whatsoever. The MP9 in towards spawn, surely the rifle should be there and the MP9 should be boosted. That would make more sense to me. I think just a bit of a misplay. You can see smoked out, spamming an MP9 for a smoke, not really going to do much for you. So, a bit of a weird round, as they actually give up 2 players there. They had 4 surviving, Harry. 2 of them went down to the bomb. That is horrendous. That should not be happening. That's just cost them, like, what, 5 grand a player? And you can see now 2 of them fully invested. That's all their money just thrown away because they just sticking on the side for way too long. CTs were nothing to do with that. They get 2 kills out of it.
Yeah, they weren't even anywhere nearby. They were all the way over in an entirely different bomb site. That's pretty disastrous if you're B.O.O.T.
Yeah, now if you lose this round, you can see everyone's fully invested now. You basically get nothing for winning that round.
Worst thing is as well, NRG keeping 3 players alive there. I mean, they're not even reset if you see them lose this. The B.O.O.T have kind of emerged worse as a result of that previous round. Still a round win is a round win, I guess. 7-12, that nade. Thought it would have found a little bit more damage on an Impression. He's going to flash himself through. Pretty ballsy play to try and make, and he's forced Ethan off the angle. The Molotov's there to hold them at bay. Ooh, things going to heat up over here towards the top of Banana. So we see Daps and Ethan back away into the B-bomb site. B.O.O.T still pressing the issue, still forcing things forward. They do manage to take control of the top of Banana here. Very quickly, NRG, they've constructed the boost. Ethan up in the back of the site. Daps going to be holding with him. Ugly started to rotate around and B.O.O.T. I mean, they've taken a lot of map control early on over here towards B. They forced the rotation out from NRG, and now they've slowed right down.
I've got some exciting news for you when we get a bit of a lull in the action, perhaps. We'll see. It will be round 20 here. 30 seconds remaining, and there's a 3-man stack from the CTs towards the B site. That's NRG ready and waiting. I love this boost. You can avoid the flashbangs. Incendiaries, though, can make things a little bit more complicated for the T's. Actually going to push through. That is a strange move by Splash, but one that works out for him. It will be a trade, but still a 3-on-3 for now. Depth's alive. They're going to assume the site is open, I would say. 9 seconds. One of them's going to have to go for the plant. And that should be the round. Let's get it down. I'm surprised Depth's even better. And there it is. Round going in favor of NRG. There is the reset there. Bomb down might get them one more buy. But yes, I've just heard the veto of the Mouse Sports Astralis game has got Dust 2 as the third map.
I actually thought it would, Henry. I was looking at the way the map pools aligned. I didn't want to make the prediction and then look like a fool. But I kind of wish I had now. That's always the way that it goes.
So that could be the first showing of the new look Dust 2 ever in professional play. Coming up next, tell your friends, your family, get them involved in the stream for the next matchup. The best of 3 between Mouse Sports and Astralis, with a third map, which is very likely to get to, will be Dust 2. I can't wait.
Yeah, that is as spicy as it gets. If that does not get you interested, then nothing will. But right now, this is still a very, very big game, the one that we see before us. NRG, they want to try and stay in this and send B.O.O.T home. There's the first kill found from Ethan. No response from B.O.O.T. 4 players over here in apartments, and it's looking a little bit cramped. Splash doesn't get tagged by that nade. He knows now that there's a man over here towards balcony. And B.O.O.T, they change their sights towards banana. This is not where I would want to be funneled towards. No utility, nothing to flash or send Daps and Ethan off of this angle. And Winter just a bullet magnet, going to take a few shots through the smoke. Now they're going to go walk in the way of Daps, and he is here alone. Oh, he spots everyone. He's going to have to try and take the fight. The flash does come through from the teammate. And Daps and Ethan, they lock in the round. That is clinical. It's clean. NRG 14-7.
Yeah, pretty convincing stuff there. Homing in on the map victory and knocking B.O.O.T out of the tournament. It's one of those teams that this is not going to be one of the events they probably expected to get to the playoffs or anything like that, but it's great experience to show themselves on the world stage and see who can handle themselves, kind of like a bit of a test for everyone. Get some demos to download and watch afterwards. As we get into round number 22, AK's coming out. Basic utility again. Cirque tried to see what's available to him towards second middle. This time, Molotov Dolphin will have to fall back towards the apartment. Same setup they used before. Looks like Cirque doesn't want to be part of the action. Same story for Breezy as he falls back. Kai has got control of the apartments here. Looking for that series point. NRG taking considerable damage there. Cirque and Breezy now been rumbled. They'll have to fall back to more defensive lines. Come into 1 minute 10 mark here. Leaving one player towards B alone. That's Ethan, who holds the half wall right now. He's got the AK. I assume he's behind the barrels, actually. Just jumping up and having a look around. And it will be a mid-commitment. Fugly to try and spray them down. First kill in his favor. That's all he gets, though. Incendiaries to be deployed. 3-on-3. All CTs on the A site, and they're getting pincered from the arch.
Yeah, there's Winter with the wrap round, and there we go. He threads the eye of the needle. Dap still inside the site. Finally emerges. There's one kill, and that's denied the bomb plant. 40 seconds. There is still time for a rotation, but no, the bomb's going to bunker down over in the pit. Daps. Now he knows there's a man at long. They're wrapping onto him, but he's buying time, and B.O.O.T, they have to try and make a play. Bunkai's pushing out from the pit. Daps, this would be unreal. They're trying to force him off the angle. He's dancing around. Now the peek comes in from Bunkai, and well, B.O.O.T, they're going to find themselves an 8th round as they manage to drop Daps. That 1v3, not meant to be.
Well, it looked like NRG had it all going in their favor. 3 players, the only 3 remaining in a 3-on-3 on the A bomb site. But Winter delivering the goods. Still another buy, of course, available for NRG. That was the same setup they presented before, with Cirque watching the apartment steps and Breezy getting his back towards that bedroom area. Round 23 here. A lifeline for B.O.O.T, managing to avoid the series points, at least for now. Round 23, and Winter holds towards middle. More aggressive play from Cirque. That's more like it. Takes down Splash. Nothing he can do about that. He really has been bested in this series so far by Cirque. Made to look very average. As Ethan knows that opening pick means his job is done. No one really has to force anything now. Wait for the B.O.O.T to commit. Wasting utility trying to regain map control. And Cirque now rotates. What a lot of great AWPers will do. Show presence towards one part of the map. Completely change things up, try and funnel them towards this area. He's going to peek towards it. Looks like he might go down. Yeah, Benkai's got his number, but can't quite find the shot. Four Cirque should be done for there, but smoke comes through, and at least mid-control granted towards B.O.O.T here.
But guys, going to start to back away. Rejoins up with Tommy. They have to go in and grab this bomb. Up banana they go. Daps and Ethan to try and hold them back. Now, Ethan boosted, Daps playing down towards CT. The smoke going to go to force Daps off the angle. He throws down the Molotov. That's going to buy time. He even tries to go for the spray through. But Kai's been tagged up. Ethan still hasn't given away his position. He hasn't telegraphed the boost just yet. So close from Daps, close but no cigar. In the meantime, Ethan, he's dropped two of his own. Winter's going to try and answer back, but it's Bunkai to find the first. Already NRG have everyone here, and Winter, he's got to pull off a monstrous 1v4. Does find the first shot. 10 seconds left, smoke going to go down. Surely there's no time, and there we go. He gets sandwiched in. Ethan's going to go to carry NRG through to match point here, 15-8.
And that's a harsh reset as well. That should be game at this point. And I assume they've got one more pause left. Will they take it? Doesn't look like it. Have to buy, and they've got about 2k per player. So Deagle's armor, maybe an SMG. As we go into potentially the final round here, NRG have got it all going in their favor. Shouldn't be too much of a task, but like we said, B.O.O.T have been pretty handy with the pistols. Let's see if Winter can get it done. We'll be heading towards middle here. Is that underpass? And Kyle is trying to get the 1D towards mid area, I should say. The CZ pushes the smoke. Actually got a bit of map control here.
Bunkai is able to find one.
Love this gun.
Breezy still fighting for his life. Those are two quick kills to find. They're not ready for Splash. Who's going to get rid of the first? It all falls to Ethan, 1v2. He's going to start to try and go for this. Pushing on in. Tommy falling back into the pit along with Impression. NRG. This could be the 1v2 of a lifetime for Ethan, the one that keeps them at IEM Sydney and sends B.O.O.T home. Creeping around, Tommy looks tempted to go in with the peak, but Ethan, he's found the time. He drops the first. He doesn't expect Tommy. The trade's there. And B.O.O.T, they keep the dream alive, 9-15.
Well, there it is. It's going to take 6 rounds in a row now. Money actually running pretty thin for the NRG squad. No reason to force buy here whatsoever. He got 6 series points in the bag. Looks like Fugly wants to buy, though. They want to try and shut this one down as quickly as possible. The orb for Circle come through. So 2 CZs, it's enough, considering the matchup we have here in terms of firepower. You can see B.O.O.T don't really have a lot on the table. They're going to have 2 UMPs, a MAC-10 for Impression. Tommy and Splash, any players there with the rifles. A faster B approach here, going to go through the smoke. They straight up rushing. Time will tell, and so far so good. Impression with that MAC-10 gets the first kill. Ethan converts one of the frags with the HE, but he's only got the pistol, remember, ready with the flashbang, but they've pushed towards spawn. Kai waits by the tree as the CT's flooding. It's a very much one and done position. He even gets that scrappy kill. Still a 3-on-3.
Ethan's still alive. How's he overstayed his welcome this much in the back of the site? The flash is going to be there for him. Dancing around with the happy feet, but breezy double kill. It's all onto Splash. 1v2 needed, maybe calling it a bit early, but NRG, they get it done.
There it is. It will be a 2-0 victory for NRG. They will be saying, and knocking out B.O.O.T, as we'll see them look quite clinical overall. Very convincing first map, as the second one was closer. But Harry, that's enough from us. We've got the big matchup coming up next. But for now, we'll throw to the analyst on the desk.
Yes, thank you, boys. And Dreamscape is given the boot. I recycled that one. We used it earlier. I felt like there wasn't enough viewers on the stream to really let it land properly and percolate. Did it go better this time?
You don't need to give excuses, Jason, you know, for what you say, really. There's enough nonsense going around that you can take part.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. Machine's coming back after this. This will be short-lived. This is NRG taking the series. Quite well done from them. Obviously, B.O.O.T going to be exiting the tournament. Before we probably want to focus on the B.O.O.T guys a little bit in the post-game as we'll be saying goodbye to them. But just some initial thoughts on NRG and making sure they close this out in 2.
Well,
Yeah, I think for B.O.O.T, the problem is individually they're not on a level, and when you say that playing against NRG, you wonder really what is the next step if they were to face some of the even stronger teams. I mean, we saw them already versus Mousesports in a best of one. Here, even they got to play one of NRG's weaker maps, the first map being Cash, right? And it wasn't even close there. So for them, yes, they made that one roster change a month ago. They brought in Winter, and he's the best player. So maybe it's about upgrading in few of the other spots. In the opping department, really, Splashkey didn't really make any splashes. So I feel like that's maybe where you look towards next, not to be cruel or anything, but if you actually want to compete at the highest level.
Yeah, Sniper, some of your thoughts on this matchup that we had here?
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's all about this whole new transition with Winter coming in. It's maybe hurt Benkai just a little bit. I don't know. He just seems out of place at the moment. It's not the usual Benkai that we see. He's like the Singaporean JKS, if you want, and it just hasn't. He just hasn't been the same since Winter's arrival. And Splashkey, obviously, like you said, Yanko, just totally outmatched this game, unfortunately. He does well against the Australians, but the North Americans, I mean, the Bulgarians even, Cirque, he just actually smashed him, really stuck the shoe in there. So unfortunate for him, just a bad tournament for him, I think, as well. But if they are to do any damage, I think they do need to look at maybe their structure. They're very slow getting into the sites. Even those last few rounds were just painful to watch. They get the smoke in. They don't cross with the first smoke, so they end up using another smoke. They still haven't cleared out, was it Daps at the back of the site with just the CZ? Like, they just need to work on those fundamentals just a little bit more.
What do we make of Daps top fragging for this NRG team in the second
What is he on?
Yeah, I think he's just, having a blinder of a tournament so far, albeit this time against weaker opposition, but also had a great game versus Astralis. I think for NRG, this was expected, right, from them, and I think this was a must-win, as we talked about in the pre-game. You can also tell they were getting a little bit complacent in that game in some of the rounds. They were feeling like they are significantly better, so discipline was lacking a little bit, which gave some rounds to B.O.O.T that maybe they shouldn't even get in the first place. But it's going to be interesting seeing NRG moving forward, right? They're going to face the loser, I believe, of G2 versus Fnatic. So that's, again, a very doable task,
right,
considering how G2 still in the transition period with Mixwell, and Fnatic has been a bit off after those 2 wins in Katowice and WSG.
Yeah, we'll be interested to see where they go from here. But for now, we're going to send it over to one of the underrated guys that we have on the broadcast. Been really impressed with all of the good work he's done in these interviews. It's over to Stunna.
Wow, Jason, that might just be the nicest thing you've ever said to me since I've met him. If you could hear it, you'd probably say the same thing. Either way, Daps, you're coming fresh off a victory here. I wouldn't say that you guys were put quite to the test today, but what did you do at the drawing board when you went back yesterday after the loss?
We didn't really change anything.
Fair enough.
The result yesterday, obviously, we wanted to win, but it wasn't a terrible result. A lot of things worked. So there's a lot of positive things to take from the Astralis match yesterday. But there's also a lot of things that we messed up that we got punished for a lot of things that teams in North America haven't really punished us for. So yesterday was a good learning experience, but we haven't really changed anything since yesterday.
Well, there hasn't been too much time that's transpired, obviously, so not too much that you could change. Now, you're going to be going up against the loser of G2 and Fnatic. Where do you sit on that one? What side of the fence do you want to be on?
I'd say, both teams are really good, but I'd say probably G2. We'd rather play them since all, the roster rumors and stuff. Yeah. So I don't know what state they're in. Other than that, Crims has been playing insane lately, and Fnatic's looked really good. So probably G2 a little bit, but it's going to be a hard match either way.
Well, you said you don't want to hit them when they're down, but it looks like you might get the chance, right, Daps?
Nah, I'm not gonna talk about any more NA teams.
He's right. He's got a point. Either way, Jason, go ahead and get us back to where we need to be going.
Yeah, we'll take you there. That's nice to hear from Daps, obviously. Got this team playing really well. One of those underrated in-game leaders who's come in and had a great impact for this team. Must win. They've got the job done. I don't think there's any real takeaways that we can get from NRG in this kind of a performance. It's moving on to the next one that matters.
Maybe just more like saying that Daps did have that leadership sort of role in this game where it wasn't it was a must-win, but it wasn't a tough game. And then he obviously has this fragging sort of appearance like he did against Astralis. Right. And it's just maybe just Daps being that leader, maybe just that guy that says, look, let's just take this game on. I'm doing it, you know, everyone else can do it as well. So it's one of those things you always like to see when the in-game leaders are fragging and doing a lot of hard work. You see it sometimes when Carrigan has those standout performances. And I think when you're an NA team, you're coming into versus some lower teams like B.O.O.T, then there's your opportunity as well just to get that morale up.
Yep. Yanko, any final thoughts here on this one?
I think great tournament so far from them, getting their confidence up, right? Close game versus Astralis, dominant win here versus B.O.O.T, and yeah, great way for Daps to make it easier a bit on his teammates, make it comfortable for them to get into the swing of things, and hopefully they can pick it up in the real deal the next game versus G2 or Fnatic.
Yeah, well, I like the European way of doing things. Like back in the day, you'd ask NIP, like, oh, who would you prefer to verse? And they're just like, oh, we want to verse the strongest opponents. Daps is like, well, G2 heard they got some roster issues.
Listen,
I'd rather verse them.
yeah,
It's been sensible.
We'll take the weaker opponents any day of the week, right? Commiserations to B.O.O.T. They're going to be out of IEM Sydney. NRG going to be moving on, awaiting who they will be playing later in the tournament. When we return from the break, we got a real treat for you. It's going to be Mouse Sports taking on Astralis, two of the best teams in the world. You don't want to miss that one, so stay tuned.